Hello everybody, my name is Torque, and today I am taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series, Shaak-ti. Now this depiction of this character is from Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and so we have some nice artwork on the box, though that picture of Shaak-ti is from Revenge of the Sith. Just fun little note for you, and here's a brief description of who Shaak-ti is. And we'll take a quick look at the figure and get the box out of the way. Alright, we have Shaak-ti out of her packaging. First, we'll take a look at the details of the figure before we get into the articulation and items she comes with. So out of the box, she's wearing this soft goods robe, but I removed it to take a closer look at the figure itself. So first off, we'll start at the head. I think they're called leku. I don't know the actual name, but it's like a headdress, I guess. They are painted this white with kind of a charcoalish gray for the stripes in between. Got some detail on that and on the back too. Shaak-ti is the same species as like Ahsoka. She's just a lot older. And I guess that's the reason their headpieces are different. But she also has this kind of gold hair piece, I guess, or like kind of crown. I don't know what to call it, but it's painted gold. It goes along the back. Then also has some down on the back piece there. Get a closer look in the camera, if it'll focus. There we go. Kind of looks like the Triforce from Zelda, honestly. Then for the face, she has these like white markings, kind of like a opera mask, I guess you could say, that is painted on top of the main skin, which is red. And it does have a little bit of etching, my camera will focus, where that gold actually wraps around that. So it's very faint, but you can kind of see it. And then her arms, there's not any detail on them, just some wrinkles. And then same with the main portion of the body. She then does have the skirt piece, which is a soft plastic, and it is a little bit longer than the figure itself, so it does kind of drape away and drag, which does make it kind of painful when posing because it does get in the way of the feet. As you saw, it fell over when I thought I had it steady. So then she has this belt with a very bland kind of maroon buckle, and then a peg hole for her lightsaber. And then she has this cloth that is a hard plastic, similar to like what was on Luminara, but it is sculpted differently. Has this kind of tan color that is the same as her scarf piece there, with a very light tan underneath of it, and then the red to match her skirt piece. I can get it in camera, there we go. And then that's about it for detail on the figure. She just has plain black boots, and that's it. But because of the choices of colors, she does stand out. Like, the figure pops against the background, which I just have this tan brown blanket. And so some things I didn't take a look at because it'll be part of the articulation, but I'll get it out of the way now. Her scarf piece is glued in the back, so it's not removable, so she is stuck always having that, but you could cut that off if you don't like it, which I may do, because you can always glue it back on later. So next we'll take a look at what other items she came with. She came with this kind of really dark purple cloak. It somewhat matches the base shirt, but it is a lot lighter and shinier than the main part of the figure. And so the hood is sewn down, and after we take a look at the articulation, we will put it back on so you can get a closer look of it on. Then she has this lightsaber with a very dark blue blade, kind of like a sapphire. And then her lightsaber hilt, which is reuse from the General Grievous figure, except they have the lightsaber peg still on. I think it was also used for the Kit Fisto figure. I don't have one for comparison though. Looking forward to hopefully getting one soon, as he's the only released figure I am missing. So next we'll take a look at articulation. At the head we have a dumbbell piece, it looks like, on the neck. I'll just call them tendrils, I guess, do prohibit the side-to-side movement, very similar to the Ahsoka's, but they are somewhat flexible and do get out of the way. It just, as you can see, it does bounce the head back up. But she does have a ball joint there, and then her neck piece is a separate piece, and you can kind of see the joint down in there to where she's able to move it side to side, and then she can go fully around, but like you saw, that hair piece will catch and bend the scarf piece back. So a little annoying, but that may be, like I said, I may just remove that. And then at the shoulder she does have butterfly joints. As far as I know, this torso is unique to Shaak-ti right now. It is not the same piece as used with like the Luminara. It is different. But so she does have butterfly joints for nice in and out movement. So that's in and out, which when we get to the lightsaber showcase, she can hold her lightsaber fairly well. At the elbow, she has a single hinge. And then at the wrist, this one is an up and down for lightsaber holding hands. Same on the right side. Then at the waist, we have another joint for waist movement. She can crunch that far forward and that far back. And then she has double knees. The knees are reused from the Luminara. You have the boots with some detail there, and then the same color as the shirt piece. But she does have double knees instead of the single hinge knees. And then at the foot, she has an in and out hinge. Let's see if I can get the skirt piece out. There we go. I guess on the boots, they do go fairly high up, and they do have laces etched in them, but no paint detail. And then she also has a toe rocker. So, not a whole ton of articulation, but it does allow her to do what she needs to like hold her lightsaber. So for instance, I would liken the lightsaber posability similar to like the Dagobah Luke, which is a very posable for action pose figure. And so as you can see, like the Luminara and that Luke, she is able to hold her lightsaber fairly centered thanks to those butterfly joints and those hinges on the wrists. So, which is nice, and then you can just adjust it to get into an action pose. Thanks to those up and down hinges, she is able to hold it more to the side without bending the lightsaber so much, which a lot of Jedi figures, without having both those hinges like that, their lightsaber tends to warp over time. So yeah, she does what she needs to, and she holds the lightsaber fairly firm. It's not going to drop it. The hands are fairly tight. And then, as I showed on the lightsaber, there is that peg, and then it just goes onto her belt right there. If I can get it in. And then, oh, I should have taken the blade out before. But she can just have her lightsaber pegged in there like that. And so you don't have to have her displayed with it out. That skirt piece being a little bit long, or it's actually way long, is honestly getting frustrating. But now we'll put on her cloak. It's not too difficult to get on, thanks to the butterfly joints. Without those, it would be a lot more difficult. But she is honestly kind of bulky with the cloak on. But overall, it's not too bad compared to some of the other cloaks. Do it like that. And there you go. So she is very stable, as you can see when you just get that skirt out from under her. But I am going to put a stand on for the size comparisons. Like that. Straighten her out. There we go. And as you see, that lightsaber does just kind of hide underneath of that scarf. I lost the word for a moment. But for size comparison, here she is next to the B2 battle droid. He is not on a stand, but she's roughly, with the headpiece, she is a little bit taller than the B2. But if you take him, put him on the stand, I guess, kind of like that. Yeah, she is just a little bit taller with her headpiece than the B2 battle droids. And then for another comparison, here she is with a clone trooper. And then the Force Unleashed Star Killer. Which, if you know why I grabbed him out, you're a real one. So, but overall, this figure is a nice capture of the character. It'll fit in with a Clone Wars display, or an Attack of the Clones, or even a Revenge of the Sith. Quickly popping back in before you go, here is Luminara without this scarf piece. I did end up removing it, and personally, it looks a lot better without that scarf piece, because you can see the lightsaber hanging, and it doesn't look as bulky without this hunk of plastic. So, there's it with it kind of back on, and there's it without. Alright, see ya.